Cleveland, Ohio, we're getting set for Game 2 between the Washington Wizards and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs took Game 1 in dynamic fashion, 97-86. Here inside the Q, it is time for tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by McDonald's. Gilbert Arenas, the fourth leading scorer in the NBA, had just 9 points through the first 3 quarters. Jared Jeffries, Brendan Haywood, Antawn Jamison, and Caron Butler. And for the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James in his triple-double in Game 1. Drew Gooden, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Eric Snow, and Larry Hughes. Matt Devlin, Jeff Van Gundy, Doc Rivers, and Cheryl Miller here. And for you, Jeff, when you look at Washington, what do they need to do to even this series?
In one word, they need to rebound. Out-rebounded by 16 in Game 1, gave up 20 offensive rebounds for 20 points.
Doc, how about Cleveland?
Well, they need to do the same as they done the last game. I think it's controlling the pace of the game, and there's no one better in the game to do that than putting the ball in LeBron James' hands.
32 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists for LeBron James, and he's only 21 years of age.
Well, I think what Washington has to do is they have to decide they can't give him both. You got to take something away from a great player. Either you got to take away his points or assists. You can't get both.
Yeah, much has been made about Washington's defense. I think for Washington to win, they have to score more points. They have to get the game into their pace.
The big three in game number 1, Arenas, Jamison, and Butler combined for just 48 points, and they shot 32% from the field, 2 of 15 from downtown, Jeff.
They did, and what they can do, though, to offset those numbers is keep getting to the free throw line. A positive for them in Game 1. They got to the free throw line 35 times. Gilbert Arenas, if he drives the ball, he will get to the free throw line.
And they also have to create turnovers. They want to get the pace going again. Create turnovers, get to the free throw line, offensive rebound. That's been their prescription all year. They have to do it tonight.
Cleveland in game number 1, they set the tone in the first quarter. They close out the quarter on a 13-2 run. Zydrunas Ilgauskas and the Cavaliers, who have won 12 consecutive games here at the Q, open up with the basketball. See our veteran crew here: Bill Spooner, Eddie F. Rush, and David Jones. Ilgauskas posting up on Jamison, and a loose ball foul. Ilgauskas in game 1, just 7 attempts. He sometimes is the forgotten man.
Yeah, he really is, and it's partly the way they play, but also in Game 1, Washington made a concerted effort to trap him. You can see on the first possession, they didn't do that. They're going to make Ilgauskas beat them tonight.
And Jamison's got to do a better job blocking out Drew Gooden. Drew Gooden was a dominant factor on the board in only 18 minutes last game.
Eric Snow, huge early on in the first quarter, had 6 points in game number 1. Made his first 3 shots, and he had really been struggling at the end of the regular season. Washington sputtered in the first half, and Gilbert Arenas had just 9 points through the first 3 quarters of action, and he averages better than 29 points a game. Turnover. Larry Hughes, the former Wizard, knocks down the shot. A good sign for Larry Hughes, who's been struggling with that injury to his right hand.
Yeah, you can really see Cleveland does not want to run, but they will run on turnovers. And Washington really has to do a better job of taking care of the ball. Jamison has said going into this game that he wants to make LeBron work.
Consecutive turnovers. LeBron and the Cavs give it back. Arenas over Hughes. Offensive rebound, and the putback doesn't go. Only 9 offensive rebounds, Jeff, in game 1 for Washington.
And they give Arenas a lot of freedom, just like that last shot, as we see Jeffries do a great job in giving help defense. But I just think Gilbert Arenas got to get a better shot than that.
Well, this is one of the things they wanted to do going into the game, is test LeBron's defense. Right there, he answers the bell and gets a break. They will score on opportunity and break.
Just 1 of 9 on Saturday, Larry Hughes. He averaged over 20 points for Washington last season. Ilgauskas. Shot clock down to 5. Cutting through James, fading. Tapped in by Drew Gooden. That's where he's at his best.
That's a mismatch right there. They've got Jared Jeffries, their power forward, guarding Larry Hughes, so they've got their small forward, Jamison, on Gooden. It's a total mismatch on the board. That's his second shot.
Yeah, it really is, Jeff. Drew Gooden's a great offensive rebounder when power forwards guard him.
Washington opens up 0 of 4 from the field. James for 3. Another great start for Cleveland. Butler backing down on Snow.
That's the first quality shot Washington's had in this game thus far. And Snow's going to guard Butler. They have to take advantage of that matchup.
And the post-up really takes the crowd out of the game. It limits transition opportunities. It slows the game down a little bit, gets some poise into their offensive game.
Snow is used to handling a bigger forward on him, including Paul Pierce.
Yeah, I saw him for 3 games in a row guard Paul Pierce and did a pretty good job of it.
Hughes, another jumper. Hughes 2 of 2. Surpassing his point total already for game 1 at just 2 points. Butler on the inside. Denied. Denied again by Ilgauskas. Great interior presence. And a blocking foul.
Well, Drew Gooden once again hitting the glass. Every time a Cavalier penetrates, a Washington Wizards player helps, that frees up Drew Gooden on the glass. They have to keep Gooden off the glass. That's the way Washington's played all year. They've won with offensive rebounding. So far in the first game and already in the second game, it's what Cleveland is doing against Washington.
The foul on Jamison. LeBron James during the regular season, 73% from the free throw line, and one of the best in the NBA getting to the free throw line, and he is certainly that, isn't he, Jeff?
Oh, he's everything but that. If you just saw their increase in franchise value since he's been here in Florida, you know he's the savior.
Just ask Dan Gilbert.
Yes, no doubt.
The owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Gilbert Arenas, scoop shot, and the follow by Jeffries.
And again, Arenas missed the drive, but the penetration created lanes for Haywood and Jeffries to get on the board. Gilbert Arenas going to the basket is very difficult to handle.
What Eddie Jordan says, he doesn't mind Arenas and Jameson taking quick shots. He wants to make sure that his guys are in rebounding position when they take shots.
Turnover taken away by Gilbert Arenas. 4th in the league in steals. Jeffries, shot doesn't go. Offensive rebound, Butler in traffic. James, and 1. He leads the NBA in that category.
LeBron James had 79 and 1s during the season. That led the league, and this is why he is so powerful. Now, there's an old adage in the NBA. If you ever break on one end and you don't make it, you're giving up 2 on the other end. Washington has now missed 3 layups in this game already.
Tied for 3rd in the NBA with Paul Pierce in free throw attempts. Cleveland started 1 of 5. Since that time, they are 4 of 4. Timeout on the floor. The Cavaliers early on, 5 of 9 from the field. Washington, the big 3, still struggling.
The 2006 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by T-Mobile, official partner of the NBA. By Ford, built for the road ahead. By Domino's Pizza, get the door, it's Domino's. And by Autotrader.com, the smarter place to buy and sell a car.
We take you back to game one. A brilliant performance by the Cavaliers and LeBron James. A triple-double in his playoff debut. The first time that had been done since Magic Johnson back in 1980 when he did it against the Suns, and the third time overall. And Jeff, you take a look at that big three.
They struggled, 15 for 47. They need better production, and they need to rebound the ball. Drew Gooden and Donyell Marshall combined for 10 of those 20 offensive rebounds.
But you know, they were third in the league in points, 21st in the league in field goal percentage. This is where they have to get their points. They can't worry about their field goal percentage. They have to create points off of turnovers, off of offensive rebounds. And right now, that's exactly what Cleveland is doing against them.
Second in the NBA in forced turnovers, second in the NBA in points off of turnovers, third in the NBA in fast break points, fourth in second break chance points, and third in offensive rebounding. Jamison down low. Turnover. James, air ball.
They'll live with that. They will live with that. They'll live with LeBron James taking jump shots. He can make it, but they're going to live with it all night.
And here's LeBron James. They're trying to go into the post where Jamison's a very efficient scorer. Bad pass by Jeffries. Good read by James to circle the post baseline and get a steal.
Started game one. His first shot with an air ball. And you know how that turned out. As well as the All-Star game. Came away with the MVP. Just 2 of 11. Washington with the shot clock down to 3. Consecutive turnovers. Block shot. Washington basketball.
Down in the post, when Washington's trying to post the ball, they've gotten stripped 3 or 4 times on the way up. Snow's excellent at it. LeBron James has got it, and Larry Hughes also is a big steals guy. They got to find a way to protect the ball in the post.
Well, they're being guarded by smaller guys. You know, Jamison's bigger than LeBron, which is rare that you can say that. Snow is smaller, obviously, than Butler. So the one place you have to protect the ball is down low.
Arenas 0-2. Jeffries. Haywood unable to collect the offensive rebound.
Cleveland's doing an excellent job defensively. They're taking Washington out of all their first option plays so far.
You talk to the coaches of the Cleveland Cavaliers and they say, hey, we're going to do the same thing we did on Saturday.
Control the pace, and that's what they're doing.
Jamison. Quick outlet, LeBron James. Jeffries commits the foul.
That foul's not loved in Cleveland, but that's how you have to play in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Jared Jeffries, there's no layups there. That's nothing dirty. There's no intent to hurt. You do not allow layups. You go make him make 2 free throws.
I think that's a nice, clean play, a smart play. Obviously, it puts Jeffries with 2 fouls. He has to go sit down, but that's what you have to do. That's how you have to play.
And I like this team, Washington, right now better offensively when they downsize and put Jamison at the 4. It leads to some defensive problems, but right now they've got to score the ball.
LeBron James already with 9 of the Cavaliers' 15 points, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Arenas. Shot off the mark. 0 of 3 to begin the game. It was 4 of 13 through the first 3 quarters in game 1. Turnover, Gooden gets it back. Gooden in a screen and roll. The largest lead for the Cavs.
Well, they're patient. They're controlling the tempo of the game. And Jeff, you made a great point. Washington downsizing is the only way they can win. They're not going to beat Cleveland by being bigger. They have to beat Cleveland by being quicker.
Arenas to the rack.
That was very good execution. A little dribble handoff, and it gave Arenas an ability to slice through and get a gap and get all the way to the basket. Getting a layup, as you know, Doc, as a player, if you're struggling with the perimeter shot, it's so important getting your confidence back.
And taking it to the basket is the best way to do that. Either that or go to the foul line.
Hughes. Hop step. Haywood. Got a piece of it, but Gooden's right there. Drew Gooden active.
And this is great. I mean, Drew Gooden gives him rebounding and energy. Donyell Marshall gives him offense. Right now, Drew Gooden is giving him offense.
Gooden with 6 points. Antonio Daniels on the floor for Washington. Shot clock down to 5. Haywood backing down on Ilgauskas. Chucks up the left hand. And a foul on Ilgauskas.
And just what Jeff was talking about, getting to the basket, using your quickness, going in pick and roll. I like the fact that they're trying to involve Ilgauskas out away from the basket in pick and rolls. It allows Arenas to use his quickness, and that's what they have to do.
And this is a Washington team that really had to go through a lot of adjustments. They started 12 of 18 with the loss of Larry Hughes, and in their offense, and talking to Eddie Jordan, it took some time for them to click.
Well, certainly, I think anytime you have a guy that goes down for a period of time, there's always a period of adjustment on the return. And it's unfortunate for Cleveland that they're having to try to incorporate Hughes back during the playoffs.
And, you know, you look at Washington losing Larry Hughes from last year. It's pretty interesting. You know, Eddie Jordan was talking this morning. He said it really hurt their team because Gilbert Arenas now has to handle the ball exclusively. Last year, either guy could handle it.
Another hard foul on Drew Gooden. Brendan Haywood. And Haywood just tying up LeBron James.
Hey, welcome to the playoffs, man.
You like that, don't you?
There's nothing wrong with that. I'll tell you what, Washington coaches, I'm sure, are very happy with Brendan Haywood. And conversely, that Drew Gooden came to LeBron James's defense was applauded by Cleveland's coaches. That's just good playoff basketball right there.
Yeah, Drew Gooden did the right thing. Haywood did the right thing. LeBron James shouldn't react because that's how it's going to be. If you're going to get a triple-double in game 1, you're going to have to field them in game 2.
And guess what? Michael Ruffin didn't come in to shoot the ball just now, so he'll put a little hit on, too, I would think.
He is like his last name. 21-8.
He's a great role player for them. He comes in, he rebounds, and he does the dirty work. They need a player to do that right now.
Daniels along with Jamison, Ruffin, Butler, and Arenas still trying to get on track for 3. 1 of 5 to begin the game. Flip Murray on the floor for the Cavaliers. Loses the dribble. Gooden. Here's Donyell Marshall. So big in game 1 with 19 points. Out of bounds. Cavaliers basketball. The Cavaliers bench outscored Washington in game 1 32-16, and much of the work was done by Donyell Marshall.
Well, that's what he does. I mean, he is a terrific shooter. He didn't have a great shooting season this year, but you knew when the playoffs started, he would be there. And Jeff, you were talking about this morning, he's probably one of the more underrated offensive rebounders in our league.
He's very long, and I think even if he doesn't shoot well, he spreads the floor and gives James more room to drive the ball and penetrate, which if he's given a seam, he's going to crack it and get to the free throw line.
The value of good shooters, you can sit them behind the 3, and someone has to stand out there with them.
Tied a playoff career best with the 19 in game 1. Gooden, another rebound. And the putback. And Drew Gooden already with 8 points and 4 boards.
Drew Gooden right now is the star of this game.
Daniels. And Gooden his 5th rebound. Donyell Marshall. Butler.
See, that's forcing the pace. That's how they have to play. It's tough to do that when Cleveland scores every single time down the floor.
Washington just 4 of 10 from the field. 4 of 18, pardon me. 4 of 18 to start. Pass picked off by Ruffin. Butler wants it down low. James on him. Faces up.
You can see they've made a concerted effort to put Butler on the post. You know, in game one, he took a lot of threes, a lot of jump shots. In game two thus far, he's been on the post. I think that's a good place for him.
Regular season averaged 19 points against Cleveland, had 11 in game one, and had that sprained right thumb. Washington went 0 of 5 without him. Came back and they won 3 straight to close out the season. Gooden driving. Shot clock down. James, shot clock violation. With 1:30 left here in the first quarter, LeBron James with 11. Drew Gooden, 8 points and 5 rebounds, and the Cavs in control again. Let's check in with the 4th member of our broadcast team, Cheryl Miller, for tonight's Gatorade Around the Cooler report. Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Matt. Well, that last hard foul on LeBron is exactly what Washington wants to do. Antawn Jamison said, you know what, Cheryl, that's the game plan. We need to be more physical with LeBron James. We can't allow him just to bring the ball up the floor and pick us apart. We need to make sure that he earns every point, every basket, and every shot. We can't afford for him to have another big game. Otherwise, if he gets it going, that could lead into another 2 or 3 games, and that could put us in a huge hole, guys.
All right, thank you very much. They're in a hole right now, down 23-12, but yet from a Washington perspective, if you're Eddie Jordan, you like to see that when LeBron's coming down the lane that you're willing to do that.
Yeah, but, you know, with LeBron, when you look at his body, I don't know if he will say that is actually being physical with him. He's pretty big, so I don't think the physical play is going to really affect LeBron James.
6'8", 240. Butler over James. Caron Butler trying to get on track.
We were talking this morning about who reminded us of LeBron, and we couldn't come up with a basketball player. My first thought was Bo Jackson. I mean, he looks like Bo Jackson in a basketball uniform.
Arenas and Anderson for Rajon with the hard foul on Gilbert Arenas.
All right.
Brings a smile to Jeff Van Gundy's face. He's the only one smiling in the building.
I'm liking what I'm seeing here tonight. This looks like the playoffs.
It does, and this is like baseball. If you throw at one hitter, then the next guy has to throw at the opposing hitter, and that's what they're doing. And it's good, clean basketball. It's physical, but it's good, clean basketball.
You see, I thought if that one could have been called a flagrant, the way he came down around his, I thought the other two were.
Jeff Van Gundy, you think something's flagrant?
No,
I'm shocked by you right now.
I said it could have been. I'm not saying it was.
Flagrant one, though.
Yeah.
Flagrant, like, you know, half. Yeah.
Flagrant half.
Yeah, I don't know what that turns out to be. But I still like I like it when it gets competitive. That's what I think fans turn in for when, not to see them, like, just go up and down the court, but see hard, competitive, intense play.
Washington on an 8-0 run. Under a minute remaining here in the opening quarter. Game 2. James with 11. Shot doesn't go, and Butler is able to handle it.
Once again, though, you can see them sagging on LeBron James and daring him to make shots.
Murray, the assignment on Butler. Fading, tough shot, and it goes.
Well, he's one of the 3 that has it going. The good thing for Washington, they see that, and they keep going to him.
10-0 run, 8 by Butler. Butler with 10 points, 5 of 9 shooting.
Here's where James at the end of quarter is murdered. 1-4, they go high pick. It's very difficult to contain his penetration.
1 second differential, game clock, shot clock, and a turnover.
See, again, though, instead of running out and trapping him like they did in game 1, they're coming up and sagging on him, and they're saying, shoot the basketball. They're going to try to force him to make jumpers.
Arenas,
He shot that.
Gilbert Arenas.
He didn't throw that. He shot that.
Squared up, drilled it. After the 7th turnover, The Washington Wizards on a 13-0 run to end the first quarter. Cleveland up by 2. Welcome back to Cleveland. Getting set for the second quarter. Game 2 between the Cavs and the Wizards, and a 13-0 run at the end of the quarter for Washington. And as the quarter came to a close, Gilbert Arenas squared up and drilled the 3.
Well, that is a beautiful shot. I mean, like we said before, he shot that. That wasn't a throw. Look at the balance. Look at him go up all the way. That should come for 4 or 5 points. That should be more than 3.
That's a beautiful picture right there.
It is.
Washington started 3 of 17 since that time, 5 of 5. Cleveland went scoreless over the last 3 minutes of the first quarter. Jeffries along with Butler, Daniels, Arenas, and Ruffin on the floor for Eddie Jordan.
And playing a little zone in this trip, Washington is.
Butler, it's a 3, and it's good. He's on track. He has 13.
Yeah, Cleveland came out in the zone, anticipating that Washington had a man-to-man play. Washington stayed calm, moved the ball, and got a great shot. Butler has really saved Washington in this first half so far.
Washington with their first lead on a 16-0 run. James, the look underneath. Ruffin with the block.
He grabbed the rim or the backboard to hold him up there so he could block the shot, which should, I think, be a technical foul.
Bill Spooner.
Here's the question, should it be goaltending as well? Because it was a shot attempt and the guy had his hand on the rim. So it's going to be an interesting call. It clearly is a technical, but he's shooting. You can make a case that that's goaltending as well, and then I don't think they're going to call that. If I'm the coach of the Cavs, Mike Brown, I'd want the goaltend and the technical. Obviously, you want everything.
And the foul.
And the foul.
And possession.
He's going to get 3 of the 4.
It's interesting right now, LeBron James is struggling a little bit. 4 turnovers already. They're switching some pick and rolls. As Doc said, they're sagging into the lane. He's got to stay aggressive and think score. By nature, he's a pass-first guy, but right now he needs to be a score-first guy.
James second in the NBA in field goal attempts behind Kobe Bryant. Squeeze in between Allen Iverson. Shot doesn't go. 2 of 6 to start the game.
And Jeff, to further your point, when he caught the pass, he was looking for the double team instead of looking to score. He has to stay aggressive. Double teams don't bother him. He's too quick anyway.
Arenas with 9. And Murray, the pass from Marshall. And a timeout taken by Eddie Jordan. Washington by 1, 26-25. Leading the way for Washington, Butler with 13, Gilbert Arenas with 9. And the Cavaliers have been silent for a while. Let's take a look at our injury report presented by Saved, a show coming to TNT in June. Larry Hughes signed a 5-year deal in the offseason with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Had 2 surgeries on his right middle finger, first on January 6th, and then his finger didn't heal properly. The second injury on February 14th, and of course, his good friend Gilbert Arenas did an excellent job on him in game number 1, held him to 7 of 20 shooting, and will that continue tonight?
Well, I think Gilbert Arenas has gotten off to a shaky start, bounced back with 2 big hoops, the end of the quarter shot, and the jump shot. And here's another one against Flip Murray.
And one of the other things that, in talking to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Mike Brown, he said, listen, Larry Hughes helps us out because he has all the play calls for the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, it was interesting. We wondered if Larry Hughes could guard Arenas because he knew him better. He said he wasn't really concerned with that. He was more concerned at the fact that Larry Hughes knew their out-of-timeout plays. He knows everything they do, and he does a great job of communicating to his teammates on the floor. He said that bothered him a little bit in game 1.
Arenas takes it right to the hole.
And there's the value of Michael Ruffin. Offensive rebound, throws it out to Arenas, doesn't see himself as an offensive player, then follows it with a step-out pick and roll, which got Arenas a seam and all the way to the basket.
Yeah, since Ruffin has come in, I thought that was the turnaround for Washington. And when Drew Gooden went out, that was a turnaround for the Cavs.
Daniels attacking in a foul. Well, since Drew Gooden checked out, and you hit it, Doc Rivers, Washington on a 16-2 run.
Yeah, Drew Gooden gave him energy from the start. Also, Jeff made a great point earlier. Right when Washington went smaller, they became more aggressive. They became the quicker basketball team. Again, they're not going to win on their size. They're going to have to win on their quickness.
And Eddie Jordan telling us the one thing when you look back to game one, and everybody looks back even to last season against Chicago when they went down 0-2. He said it's totally different. He said on Saturday here at the Q, he said we didn't have an edge at all. And they're showing that edge tonight.
Yeah, he told us they had no playoff intensity in game one. They showed up to play a regular season game and found out in the middle of it, it was a playoff game.
21-2 run, and Washington with a 4-point advantage. They trailed by 15. Flip Murray. Shot clock down to 3. Over Jeffries. Shot doesn't go, and Ruffin able to limit the Cavaliers to 1 shot. Jeffries. Gooden got a piece of it. Drew Gooden, his presence felt already on the floor. Butler, active hands, out of bounds off of Washington. Cleveland basketball.
It's amazing what energy players do. Drew Gooden on one end is helping Cleveland. Ruffin right now is having a heck of a basketball game. He's keeping everything alive on both ends of the floor.
Played just 3 minutes in game one. Didn't score, no rebounds. 3 rebounds and 7 minutes of action here in the first half for Eddie Jordan. Gooden up fake. Drew Gooden with 10 points. Already on his 3rd team in his 4th season out of Kansas. Started with Memphis, traded to Orlando for Mike Miller, and then sent up here along with Anderson for Ajon. And Arenas another 3.
He's getting comfortable, Jeff.
And I'm surprised Snow is not guarding Arenas right now instead of Flip Murray. He's guarding Antonio Daniels, and I'm surprised by that matchup.
Arenas with 14, the largest lead for Washington.
I think Arenas is surprised as well.
Happily, I might add.
Yes. Shot clock to 5. Gooden. Jeffries kicked out of bounds, and it's Washington basketball.
Again, they're not looking. LeBron James is not looking right now to score. Drew Gooden is, and I tell you right now, he's their best offensive player.
Gooden 5 of 6, and the rest of the team's out 5 of 19. Here's Arenas off the dribble. Long rebound, Drew Gooden.
You know, we may see 3 guys go the full game tonight. Arenas, Caron Butler, and LeBron James, who did it in game 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see all 3 of those guys go the whole way tonight.
Yeah, I think the only way any of them come out is foul trouble. And I don't see that happening from any of those 3.
Arenas had foul trouble in game 1 early, had 2 personal fouls, fouled out. Ajon and Murray out. Larry Hughes back out on the floor, along with Snow, Ilgauskas, Gooden, and James with 8 ticks remaining on the shot clock. And Washington holding on to their largest lead.
And this is the starting lineup that got them the lead. So Mike Brown has decided to go back with the group that got us the original lead.
But you live with Snow taking the jump.
I think Washington has to force him to shoot the basketball in the half court.
Butler denied by Gooden. The plus minus with Gooden on the floor is substantial. James. Ilgauskas. The putback, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. His first bucket.
An aggressive move by LeBron. But again, Ruffin gets his hand on that shot.
What is it about playoff centers with beards? Pau Gasol, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, it must be a fad.
It's a European thing.
It makes you look tougher, doesn't it? James misses down low. Daniels, and he's fouled by Gooden.
And that was actually a good foul. Washington would have had a 4-and-2 break, most likely get a dunk or a layup. So that was actually a smart foul by Drew Gooden.
Brendan Haywood checking back in. Antawn Jamison. Jamison still scoreless, and Gilbert Arenas is going to get some rest. 5 of 10. Hit that big 3 at the end of the first quarter. 14 points.
It won't be a long rest for Gilbert Arenas.
He's 1 of 7 from beyond the arc in game number 1 on Saturday. 3-point game. Daniels, Bowling Green State, about 2-hour drive from Cleveland. Shot clock to 7. Snow driving left hand. Gooden on the offensive glass. Steps around with the slam. Active. 12 points and 9 rebounds.
Right when Drew Gooden comes back in the game, the Cavs' energy gets up, the crowd gets back in the game. I'll tell you what's hurting Washington is dribble penetration, the help, and that frees up Gooden on the offensive glass.
1-point game, turnover. Hughes with the steal, led the NBA a season ago. Hughes, shot doesn't happen. And knocked out of bounds. With Gooden out of the game, Cleveland is -15. With Gooden on the floor, +14. As coaches, you like that. LeBron James, game 2 here at home. Started out in perfect fashion, but since that time it has been a struggle as Washington has roared back.
The 2006 NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. And by Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT. Go on.
Last time, she made you talk. This time, she'll leave you speechless.
Sorry.
The new season, Kara Sedgwick returns as the closer. Coming this June, only on TNT.
Welcome back to the Q. The big 3 right now is the big 2. Arenas and Butler have combined for 27 points on 11 of 22 shooting, Jeff.
And I really think that should be reduced to the big 1. I think their team flows from Gilbert Arenas. He is one of the top 10 players, in my opinion, in the NBA.
Because his ability to create shots for not only himself, but for his teammates. He has great speed. He can make the 3, and he plays past the lanes on defense. He does it all for this team.
In his 3rd season with Washington, just 24 years of age, 2nd-round pick by Golden State out of the University of Arizona. Started 1 of 6 since that time. Arenas 4 of 4 and 12 points. Ilgauskas in the post out of the timeout over Haywood.
You know,
Arenas with a board.
I know it looks strange not having LeBron James out on the floor. I think that's a great substitution because I think he needs to sit for about a minute and figure out what they're doing to him and then come back in and turn it on.
Daniels to Haywood. He started 2 of 3, did James. Arenas, long rebound. And since that start, 0 of 6, Doc. And scoreless the last 10-plus minutes.
Yeah, and most of those shots have been shots he didn't want. He has to take the shots he wants to take.
Jeffries for 3. And Murray with a rebound. Gooden in the post.
3 seconds. Ilgauskas. You know, Ilgauskas assumed that Drew Gooden was going to take the shot. He was under there at least 5 seconds. They were being nice by calling it 3.
And Gooden likes the other block much better than that block right there, so he's a little bit tentative on what he wanted to do. But give Jeffries credit. He's an excellent, versatile defender.
Extremely long. And a foul's going to be charged to Drew Gooden. Washington by 1, 32-31 with 4:12 remaining here in the first half as you take a look at the team temperature.
Well, they're not shooting the ball well again, and they're getting out rebound. It doesn't look like a great stat line, but the one important stat, +1 after being down 15 early.
Yeah, and also they're playing their way now. The game is turning into their tempo, their style. They're creating turnovers. They're getting offensive rebounds now. That's exactly what they want to do. Another second shot opportunity coming up again for Washington.
And that was a heck of a hustle play by Gilbert Arenas to save that off Larry Hughes. Again, going into the crowd, that's what I like about him. He has no fear of contact. He goes to the hole hard. He pursues long rebounds. He'll run through people versus avoid contact.
Average a career high 29.3, fourth best scorer in the NBA. Back down move. Haywood out of North Carolina fading, and it's good.
And that's gravy. Again, I mean, they're going to go to Haywood, but not very often. Right now, without Jamison scoring, the Washington Wizards are extremely happy with the score.
Jamison's taken just 2 shots. Murray. Another layup blown. Jamison. Not scoring. So he puts it on the deck and goes hard.
Long rebounds equal transition. One shot equals transition. And right now, Washington is getting the Cavs to miss shots. It's allowing the Wizards to get out and run. That's what they want to do.
Washington right now with their largest advantage, 36-31 here at the Q, as Washington looks to even the series at 1.
You know, he's a great passer. That's one of his strengths, and he was just finding open guys, and they was knocking down shots.
And players love to play with LeBron because he loves passing the ball, and LeBron said he loves to pass the ball because he likes the 2 oohs. The one on the pass, and then the one on the make. 11 assists in Game 1, tied a playoff high along with Dwayne Wade, but tonight, 0 assists.
I think LeBron James is in the class of Nash and Kidd as far as a passer. I think he has unique vision. His size gives him the ability to look over the defense and around the defense. But tonight, he needs to put the ball in the basket because they're playing him differently than they did in Game 1.
Yeah, they're not doubling him much, and when they do double, it's not an aggressive. It's almost a sack. So they're trying to force him to take shots.
Larry Hughes, a big three. On the season, 36%, didn't attempt one in Game 1.
You know, the first 4 minutes of the game, the Cavs were shooting 56%. Washington was shooting 18%. Now, they're shooting 34%, and Washington shooting 38%. So Washington has completely turned it around defensively.
They've created 8 turnovers, and it's led to 11 points. Shot clock down as the defense forced it out on the perimeter.
That's one of the best times I've seen Ilgauskas defend the high pick and roll. Arenas, who's very difficult to contain, came off, and Ilgauskas moved his feet very, very well and contained it.
Yeah, and that's what Washington wants to do. They take him away from the basket, but what they didn't anticipate was that Ilgauskas was going to be able to move his feet.
First turnover by Washington in 12.5 minutes. Hughes. Shot doesn't go, and Jamison with a rebound. Led Washington in rebounds during the season with over 9. He can shoot the free. And Ilgauskas with the rebound. Snow ties it. Turnover. James. Cavaliers with the lead. James and Jamison get tangled up. LeBron James, his first points in 14 minutes, and a foul on LeBron James.
And you can see LeBron and Jamison going at it with physical play down on the post. I think that benefits Jamison. You want to get LeBron engaged as much as you can. Take his mind off of scoring. Take his mind off the game. If you can get him thinking about you, it's your advantage.
Cleveland on a 7-0 run, and Arenas draws the foul. And let's send it down to Atlanta and EJ. Ernie?
Hey, Matt, it's the Southwest Airlines game break, and coming up on the T-Mobile halftime report, Magic's here, so is Charles, so is Kenny to break down the first half. And in honor of Doc's first appearance of the postseason here on TNT, did have to send the Celtics fishing in keeping with TNT traditions. Well, there's Doc with Paul Pierce and Kenny, of course, who organizes all of our fishing expeditions for those who do not make the playoffs. Congratulations, Doc.
Well, thank you. It's one of my few awards. I'll take it right now, Jeff.
Jeff, you didn't get invited?
Did you get to fish yet?
You didn't get invited? And if we don't win more, I'll be permanently fishing.
You can borrow Doc's pole. Arenas. And it's a one-point game. Arenas with 15. Coming up, game 2 between Sacramento and San Antonio. And of course, the Kings will try to even the series without Ron Artest suspended for that forearm to Manu Ginobili. And that is going to be tough for the Kings.
Yeah, that would be tough with Artest.
Yeah. Parker with 25 points in game number 1. Daniels. Butler. Loose ball. David Jones, and a jump ball is called.
You know, Jeff, the last 3 or 4 times down the floor, Washington has not made shots, but you can see the tempo is starting to change in their favor. Quick shots by Cleveland. Washington gets to run out. Though they're not making it, if they can force tempo, they're in great shape in the second half.
I agree. I think both teams have to feel pretty good about where they're at. Washington down 15 early, gets it back. Like you said, their tempo's going their way. And without LeBron playing a great game, they're standing here up 1.
Yeah, and that's been due to Drew Gooden scoring. Larry Hughes has been more aggressive also offensively. You know, with Cleveland, we're thinking, we're 1 up at home, and LeBron James hasn't really been involved, though he has 13 points. So we say he's not been involved, but he has 13 points already.
That'd be a career half for most guys in a playoff game.
He had 19 in the first half of game 1.
But, I mean, really, this is what happens with great players like LeBron James. Here we are nitpicking this guy, and he has 13.
He has 13 points, and he hasn't been involved.
How about this? What will he be defined by in his career? You know what it's going to be. And a triple. The rings.
It has to be. I mean, he's that good. He's a special player. And when I talked about Bo Jackson earlier, you know, I meant that. You look at his body and his size. Bo Jackson was physically bigger and more dominant than anybody in the sport, but so was LeBron.
But I would just say this. I think that's unfair to a point. Yes, you have to win championships, but you also have to be surrounded by the right pieces.
Question.
I've seen many great players that have conducted themselves like champions, but never win the championship because they're just around, they're at the wrong time.
Patrick Ewing.
Yes, the Knicks. Yeah.
Thanks, I played for Patrick. You're right.
That's what we were saying.
I'm glad you're listening.
Yeah.
It was like he was in our coaches' meetings, you know.
Cleveland by 1 with 22.8 of a second remaining here in the second quarter. Matt Devlin, Jeff Van Gundy, Doc Rivers, Cheryl Miller here at the Q. Cleveland got up early. Washington has come back. Doc Rivers saying that Drew Gooden has been a major factor, and he certainly has been, with 12 rebounds. So 12 points and 8 rebounds, and there is Drew.
And last shot of the quarter situation, they put in Donyell Marshall, they put in Damon Jones for the first time for Eric Snow. And this has got to be difficult for Damon Jones. He was such an important part of their rotation earlier in the year. Now, Flip Murray's here. Now he's basically played 3 minutes in game 1. First action here tonight in game 2.
Yeah, I think it's tough, but I still think they're going to need him in this series to spread the floor.
Coming up at halftime, it's a T-Mobile halftime report. James, shot doesn't go. James with with the block at the buzzer. Cleveland with a 1-point advantage at the end of the first half. LeBron James started out strong. A 15-point advantage by the Cavaliers, but Washington closed the gap. And let's send it over to Cheryl Miller.
LeBron, you got off to a great start in the first quarter. Second quarter, you struggled a little bit. How much defensively did they change things up on you?
You know, we had a lot of unforced turnovers, and which enabled them to get out and run, which they do best. We need to clear that up at halftime, come out with a defensive mindset, and get some stops in the second half.
Both Butler and Arenas are having a great first half. How do you slow them down in the second?
Oh, but they hitting a lot of jumpers. We knew that they couldn't shoot as bad as they did on Saturday. So we got to do a great job of keeping testing, try to get some stops and get on a run.
Thanks for your time. EJ, we got a shootout in the queue. Let's send it back to you in our Atlanta studios.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. It is time for the T-Mobile halftime report. Game 2 between the Washington Wizards and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And
watching
the nick of time.
I was watching something.
Yeah, well, usually right at halftime they stop playing and we work. But that's the first night.
It took them 30 seconds to figure that one out.
38-37. The Cavs with the lead over the Wizards. Ernie Johnson, Hall of Famer Magic Johnson, Hall of Famer Charles Barkley, and Kenny the Jet Smith. And let's start off with you and your pictures of the first half, because this was a strange first half. Cleveland came out to answer Charles' question on how they would come out tonight, all full of fire, and they jump out to this huge lead, but now it's a 1-point game at the half.
Well, they came out with a ball of fire, but they played well. But one of the things they did, they allowed Washington to get in a little bit of a rhythm offensively. But, you know, honestly, they should have been up more, and they kept the game close. But one of the things is they took some bad shots, and Eric Snow just comes down, jacks up a shot, really a bad shot. Then LeBron misses some easy shots. So now you're not in the thing. So now you're tight and you're pressed. So you get another easy layup, you miss that, and you get a tip and you miss that. That allowed Washington to stay in the game, be in the game. I don't think Washington really did anything different, but they took some bad shots because they got up 10, and then they missed some easy shots because Washington didn't make too many adjustments defensively.
I like the hard foul on LeBron. That sent a message, hey, we're here to play tonight. I thought that was actually the biggest play in the first half.
You know, and this is it, Chuck, when he drives in the lane, comes off the pick and roll, and then after he comes off the pick and roll, you know, he just said, forget it, but then
yeah, good job upstairs.
Pick and roll.
Good job upstairs. I thought that was
I don't know what's better, the freeze frame or the look on your face when it didn't roll.
I actually thought that was just a very significant play, because you can tell that he got a little bit frustrated. The crowd jumped up, but that's just good playoff basketball. You don't give up layups.
But also you got to give Washington some credit, because I think Washington really came out saying, okay, even though we got down 15, they stayed within their offense, and they got better with defense. The reason Washington came back was because they swarmed on their defensive end, tried to swarm LeBron and them, and then they got out on the break. And Charles was making a comment when we were in the green room that Arenas got to take over more. And just when Charles said that, he started scoring a lot in the first half. And if they're going to win this game, to Charles's point, Gilbert Arenas must take over the game.
The point I was trying to make, when your team's struggling, your stars got to take over. I mean, LeBron's going to have to step up, or Gilbert, one of the two. Gilbert stepped up because they were struggling. But that's what, role players, they're role players, but the game is dictated by how well your stars play. And you can let those role players play, but when they're struggling, you got to be a star, baby.
LeBron James, 13 points, 3 rebounds, no assists, had a triple-double in Game 1 of this series. Arenas has 15. Caron Butler, who said his antennas were up after hearing some criticism after Game 1, 13 points on 6 of 12. We'll be back with more after this.
Welcome to the T-Mobile Halftime Report. T-Mobile, official wireless services partner of the NBA.
Back here on the T-Mobile Halftime Report. Another game going on right now on NBA TV, and that's New Jersey and Indiana, and the Pacers having stolen the home court in Game 1. There's Vince Carter off the glass for a couple.
Tough layup there.
Just hit a three-pointer moments ago to make it 12-9. They are in a timeout as New Jersey playing at home tries to tie that series up. Indiana, Peja Stojakovic not playing in this game. He is inactive. They're saying it is a right knee situation, but he didn't play the last 7:42 of the game the other night. They went with Fred Jones over Peja late in that game, and he was at shoot-around today, but inactive tonight, and Jamal Tinsley has been activated for them. What do you make of that series between the Nets and the Pacers and the fact that New Jersey lost game 1 at home?
Well, first of all, I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised after watching the fourth quarter and watching New Jersey execute down the stretch. I thought they didn't execute down the stretch on offense, and then they didn't do a great job of recognizing Jermaine O'Neal was going to be the go-to guy in the fourth quarter. You ride your best player. They didn't do anything to take it out of his hands in the fourth quarter. But tonight, it looks like Vince is really coming out and being animated. You know what surprised me, both of you guys? First home game, the playoff, there was no energy in the New Jersey Nets. It seemed like they were a flat team, and the crowd never got into the game.
Well, because if you slow them down, they need those dunks, those alley-oops to get themselves going. But, you know, that was your point about Jermaine O'Neal. You got them, Peja was not in the game. Why wouldn't you take away their number one option with Jermaine O'Neal? But this series to me is very simple. If they get a chance to go up and down the court, New Jersey's going to be a favorite. If they play in a half-court set, Indiana's going to win because New Jersey has the worst half-court offense in the NBA.
Well, if you looked at even that one highlight that we showed, but it was actually a couple of moves like that, where Vince Carter is making tough layups tonight. The other night, the tough layup, the contested layup, he missed. He's already made 2 tough layups. That kind of gets a guy going. Then all of a sudden, what was his next shot? A long three, knocked it down. So hitting tough shots, layups-wise, always gets a great offensive player like Vince going.
As you see our live look, a 12-9 score as they go to the
must win for New Jersey.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Must win.
Oh, I would certainly say must win for New Jersey because that series shifts to Conseco on Thursday. Meantime, second game of our doubleheader tonight, the Sacramento Kings and the San Antonio Spurs. Ron Artest will not be there. It's game 2 later. Back here on the T-Mobile halftime report, and every now and then we want to make sure that you're watching. And as you see, was that somebody? Oh, the blow dart hit him. Down went our boom operator, Bob Simmons. Oh, and he got right back to his feet. Magic never heard the shot back there.
Kind of like there was a no-look pass.
38-37. There he is, the boom operator, the crane cam operator. Nobody better in the business.
Oh, yes, there is.
No, there's not.
Oh, yes, they are.
And dunking.
Thanks for watching the T-Mobile Halftime Report. T-Mobile, official wireless services partner of the NBA.
Welcome back to Cleveland, Ohio. Game 2 between Washington and Cleveland, and the Cavaliers at halftime lead by 1, 38-37. The Cleveland Cavaliers care about their community. Eric Snow encourages and supports father-son and father-daughter relationships before each regular season home game. Snow met with one father-son, one father-daughter duo and provided tickets to the group compliments of Eric's foundation, Shoot for the Moon. The foundation is dedicated to supporting and strengthening communities and families in Canton, Cleveland, and the surrounding areas here in Ohio. And time now for the Chief game summary. Both teams, Jeff, not shooting the basketball all that well, but creating turnovers. Washington, that was key for them.
I thought it was a hard-fought first half. I thought both teams defended hard. Both teams need to make more shots, obviously, to get a little separation from each other.
And, Doc, when you look at LeBron James, started 2 with 3, and he finished the half 1 for his last 8.
Yeah, you know, playoffs are about adjustments. You can clearly see what Washington is trying to do. You can see the sagging defense. They're trying to encourage LeBron to be less aggressive, look for double teams that aren't going to come, and take jump shots. And if they can get away with that in the second half, they have a great chance of winning the game. You can see here, no double team. In game 1, there would have been at least one other guy in the picture. And even when he does drive, then they sag off more. Look at Haywood sag back. Take the jump shot. If he drives, there's bodies, and they're still going to hit him hard. I think it's a good adjustment by Eddie Jordan.
All right, let's send it over to Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Well, thanks a lot, guys. Actually, I just spoke to Coach Jordan. He said give Cleveland a lot of credit. They're defensively, they forced us into a lot of turnovers to miss some easy shots. Also, guys, one side note, as Coach Jordan was leaving the court, he was confronted by a fan who reportedly used a racial slur. Coach Jordan had to be restrained by his coaching staff, and I was told by security that the fan was issued a warning. Guys?
And rightfully so.
Yeah, there's no place for that. You know, I thought he was talking about a traveling call going off the
warning
floor.
on a racial epithet? What gets you thrown out then?
Yeah, that fan should be thrown out of the game. I mean, there's no place for that.
And if he's a season ticket holder, revoke that too.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Cleveland with a 1-point advantage. And Eddie Jordan, one of the classiest guys in the NBA, has done an outstanding job in Washington. Butler, and he is fouled. He's led Washington to back-to-back playoff appearances for the first time in 18 years out of Rutgers University. Excellent coach.
I had the opportunity to work with him at Rutgers when we were both assistants, and I saw then what a first-class guy he was and a first-class coach. Think about it. He lost Larry Hughes, and he came back and went back-to-back into the playoffs, and they didn't have any other major addition other than Antonio Daniels.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the East thought when they lost Larry Hughes that would really hurt their basketball team. Obviously getting Daniels and getting Butler back helped. But Larry Hughes did so many other things for their basketball team.
Caron Butler and the Kwame Brown deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. That really worked out well. Foul. Ilgauskas working down low in the post.
I'm laughing at Hayward because he's upset at Butler because he trapped. Now, you know, at the beginning of the game, they gave it to Ilgauskas. Cleveland usually does that to start the halves, and there was no double team. And I think Butler forgot that they were not trapping Ilgauskas, and that's why Ilgauskas is on the line, because he did.
Ilgauskas, a career best, 83% from the free throw line, second best center in the NBA from the stripe. Just 3 points, 1 of 7 shooting. That is it for Big Z.
And I think in this act you'll see many more LeBron James, Ilgauskas pick and rolls, because really Ilgauskas is a fine 15 to 17 foot jump shooter.
And he's a big target. I mean, you can throw it almost anywhere and he'll catch it, and he makes the shot.
Jeffries, spin move, cut off by Ilgauskas, creating a turnover. James running the flow, blows the dunk.
Wow. You know, showtime is nice, but that's a 2 points you might need later in the game. And that should have been just a simple layup. That was not a hard shot. He made it difficult because he went for showtime.
1 for his last 9. Jamison in the post.
You know, we talk about it all the time, Jeff, with young players, and LeBron, we forget how young he is. But they do forget sometimes that it is always a competition. It is never a show. And I think all young players need to understand that.
Well, the playoffs are so, every basket, as we've seen here tonight, where both teams are shooting 34%, every basket is so critical. Every shot in the half court is contested. So when you do get one, that's a breakaway. Make it count.
Like that. You know, that was simple. It was beautiful. Gilbert Arenas, and that first step is absolutely amazing.
He's got a rocket first step.
Gilbert Arenas with 17 points.
Jeff had to reference his team. The Rockets.
How about Gilbert Arenas?
Well, here it is. Right to left crossover, and very few guards finish like that with a dunk over LeBron James.
Earlier, both of you were talking about how quick LeBron James's first step is. Turnover. Gooden ahead to Snow. Jamison getting back. But Snow with the layup.
See, and I thought that was one where Jamison should have committed a foul there. You know, he would have been called for the breakaway maybe, but I think you got to make them make free throws.
And again, shows you you have to handle the ball. You cannot beat yourself, and both teams have had far too many turnovers to get any separation from the other team.
Jamison. Antawn Jamison with 4 points, 2 of 5.
Cleveland has come out in the second half and switched on everything on defense. So, you know, this is their first adjustment that they've had to make so far, and that's what they're trying to do now, is mix up Washington with the switching.
Hughes tightly on Arenas. Jamison down the lane with the runner.
And that's his game. He rarely comes to a stop. It's a catch and go, usually to his right, and he's got those little flip shots and runners in the paint.
Good timeout by Mike Brown. I tell you, Jamison makes the layup to play before. You know, scores, they don't need but one thing good to happen to remind them how good they are. And the second time, Jamison comes back and scores.
Antawn Jamison averaging 20-plus points. Down the lane with the runner with 6 points at 2 at halftime.
And that's a beautiful spin move and a finish, and Washington now up 3.
The 2006 NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, official airline of the NBA. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. And by G.
Cleveland got up by 15 early, and Washington stormed back a 13-0 run to end the first quarter. And since that time, Drew Gooden has been a major factor. Michael Ruffin also supplying some much-needed muscle on the inside for Washington. Right now, Washington up by 3 with 8:56 remaining here in the third quarter. Ilgauskas tapped out. Long rebound, Hughes.
I'll tell you again, Drew Gooden kept that alive. Larry Hughes will get the rebound, but that was all Drew Gooden again.
Gooden with 12, now with 14. 7 of 8.
He's their best offensive player in the game for Cleveland. He's their best rebounder. He might be their best defensive player right now as well.
Rest of the Cavs just 10 of 32 from the field. Arenas. Jeffries keeps it alive. Butler. 16 for Butler.
Butler is having a big game for Washington, and they need him to, because Jamison really hasn't gotten on track yet.
Butler held to just 11 points in the first game. Snow. Here's Ilgauskas. And Caron Butler with a rebound.
Cleveland has to get LeBron James in this game, don't you think, Jeff?
I do. I think, again, they're trying to search for some offense right now, and it's easy to go away from somebody who's struggling. But if you go to LeBron James over the course of 48 minutes, he's going to get it going at some point.
Arenas and Jeffries on the scene. It's Cavaliers basketball.
Well, yeah, he's only had 2 points in the last 19 minutes, but again, scorers go in streaks, and my only point to him, if I was coaching him right now, is attack. Attack, 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 and we'll live with the results.
Ilgauskas offensive rebound, and he is fouled.
You think about most of his points in the first half off of turnovers and off of transition. They have to figure out a way to get LeBron James involved in their half-court offense. That's where he's struggled. He's been sensational in the open court. They have to get him involved in the half-court offense.
And again, whose responsibility is that? I don't believe it's Mike Brown's. I think Mike Brown is doing some good stuff. He's trying to get Ilgauskas involved. I think it's up to LeBron James to realize that, hey, I am the best player on the floor. Every night I go on the floor. And it's up to me right now, no matter what's happened through the first 2.5 quarters, to forget what's happened and think about how I can win this game. It's not how I've played so far, it's what's next.
And you know what he's doing? He's thinking. He's trying to read the defense and see what they're doing. He needs to just be LeBron, be instinctive, and play aggressive.
Go into attack mode. As Jared Jeffrey said about game one, he said, listen, he controlled the game, the entire game, both ends. Here's James. Butler trying to get back. And one. The thunderous slam by LeBron James. Exactly what you talked about, Doc. Getting out. Running in transition.
In transition, he's unstoppable. I mean, this is what I talk about Bo Jackson. That was Bosworth that just fell down. That's the way it looked. He just ran him right over. I don't think that was a foul, quite honestly. But the speed and power of LeBron James is absolutely amazing. And if you get him out in the open court, he's going to score. The problem there, that's Caron Butler's 4th foul. And that's his 3rd bad foul in the second half. He has 3 fouls already in the second half.
So Butler will sit. Daniels on the floor. Arenas. Snow comes down with it. James with 15 points. Cleveland by 1. Gooden with the hook. How about Drew Gooden? 16 points, 10 rebounds.
It's not a surprise. Drew Gooden has a physical size and strength mismatch on Jamison. He can get good quality shots. It's just make or miss.
Cleveland on a 6-0 run. Arenas jumper ends the run. And quiets the crowd here at the Q.
Washington is using Jeffries to guard other guys. And while he may be having a great defensive game on those guys, it's allowing Drew Gooden to have a great game. See, that's what they want him to do. And he can make that shot, so it's not a bad shot, but he has to look to attack the basket.
Just 4-14. Arenas is fouled.
You know, Jeff, when you think about the Cavaliers, you think Drew Gooden as their rebounder and does energy stuff. You think Daniel Marshall as their scorer. Well, Daniel Marshall hasn't scored, so Drew Gooden has to do all the other stuff, and that's what he's doing. And again, whenever you can get LeBron James in the open court, it's never a bad thing.
And that's why your transition defense against them has to be all the way back. You need a second defender to stop that locomotive. I mean, that thing is coming at you as fast as anyone in the league. One-on-one, it's going to be a score, a foul, or the worst possible scenario, which just happened, a score and a foul.
And that's what he led the league in. Again, he had 79 three-point plays. I want to find the brave guy that wants to stand in the way of that, because when the train gets going, it's going pretty fast and hard.
Arenas at the line, career best 82% from the free throw line this season. 4th in the NBA in free throws made, and he misses both.
I guess you could use another comparison with LeBron and call him Shaq. Shaq with speed, Shaq at guard.
I think Shaq would like that.
Oh, he's got it going now.
Gooden stepping out.
Yes, he's in that special place that great players are always at, and good players, they get there every once in a while. Drew Gooden is there right now.
9 of 10, 18 points, and 11 rebounds. In his 8 career playoff games entering this series, averaged a double-double. Jamison, tough hook shot. 12th rebound for Gooden. James! Electrifying the crowd. Eddie Jordan calls a timeout. Drew Gooden, his 12th rebound, and at the other end, LeBron James with 17.
Well, in transition is where he's been most dangerous. They throw it over the top to him. A great play by Eric Snow, and a great finish by one of the best finishers in the game in transition in LeBron James.
Cavs by 5. Wednesday night on NBA TV, the Pistons host the Bucks in Game 2 of their series. Friday night on ESPN, it's the Cavs and the Wizards Game 3 and Suns-Lakers Game 3. Also on Friday on ESPN2, it's the Spurs and the Kings Game 2. And Sunday on ABC, it is the Heat and the Bulls Game 4 and the Suns versus Lakers Game number 4. And of course, San Antonio and Sacramento Game number 3.
You know, Matt, the little things in the game. You saw the end result of LeBron getting the dunk. What you didn't see, Drew Gooden, by him running, sucks the defense in. That allows LeBron James to run the lane and get the dunk. And Eric Snow with the great pass. But no one gets credit. The bigs never get credit for running the floor. By him running the floor, it allowed LeBron James to get free.
Cleveland on a 10-2 run. Arenas. Hughes on him. Antonio Daniels open jumper. Second chance for Washington. And Haywood travels with the basketball. 10th turnover for Washington.
And with Butler on the bench with 4 fouls, Antonio Daniels needs to come through for them because he's going to be open. 6 for 6 in game 1. 0 for, I believe, 5 now here in game 2.
Yeah, and then Jamison has to step up and score as well. But look, Caron Butler and Arenas were their offense. Now, without Butler on the floor, Washington has to find someone else to score for.
Butler with 4 personal fouls.
Again, great defense by Jeffries. You can see his size is bothering LeBron James a little bit. He's sagging off. He's trying to force him to take the shot, and then he's going to use his size to block the shot or bother the shot. And on the drive, he's already back into the paint.
7th turnover by James. Arenas. He is fouled going to the rack.
And watch Jeffries right here. He's daring. He's sagging. He's waiting for shot. And that allows him to move into the spot if he tries to drive. I still think LeBron has to drive, though. I don't think he can just settle for the jump shot. He just has to set up the drive a little bit better.
Flip Murray in for Snow.
Both teams, if people are wondering why the score is so low at 53-48, well, both teams have a lot of non-shooters on the floor. Jared Jeffries isn't really a lane shooter. Brendan Haywood is not a primary post-up player. And then on Cleveland, you had Snow on the floor as a defender first. Ilgauskas is struggling tonight, and Gooden is not a spacing four like Marshall. So there's not as much space on the floor to drive it, to space the floor for the driving kick game. And so you're going to see a lower scoring game with the lineups being played. Remember, when Washington downsized in the first half, that's when they went on that scoring run.
And that's a great point. You know, Drew Gooden's playing well, but by him playing well, that takes Ilgauskas, leaves him on the floor, it leaves Gooden on the floor, it takes Marshall off the floor. And I still think at some point, Damon Jones is going to have an impact because they're going to need to get room for LeBron.
Cleveland by 6 on the follow by Ilgauskas. Haywood.
Boy, I tell you, you don't see that call. They're calling a foul because they're saying Ilgauskas flopped. Now, there's been a lot of talk about that, and we would love that to be called more. When a guy actually flops, you should get a foul call on you. That's what that foul call was. I don't know if I've seen that this year called. I mean, you can see here, this was not enough to go down, and they're saying Ilgauskas tried to sell it and flop. So for doing that, we're going to give you the foul.
And that's from the all-time flopper right there. My gosh, when we were the Knicks, he was always on the floor. And I love the flopping then when we had one. But I agree with Doc. Flopping to me, it starts a hard game to officiate to begin with. Then you throw in the flopping. They should never get the benefit of the doubt.
See, I believe that now. Yeah. As a coach, as a player, I thought the flop was a great thing.
You and Vlade Divac.
And Stockton.
Cleveland by 7. Jamison nails it. And he's fouled.
Boy, the officials are starting to call this game closer than they did in the first half. And maybe they sensed at halftime that the game was getting a little bit out of control. I didn't think that, but they must have. And you can see the game tightening a little bit. And maybe they're trying to do that to set up a good fourth quarter.
James his third. Antawn Jamison.
And that's how quickly,
play.
I'm sorry, Matt, that's how quickly a game can change. Brendan Haywood in the post, LeBron James digs down, 4-point play. When they had it at 7, it looked at be building some momentum.
And the point you're making is why was he digging down? You have to make Hayward score. Well, that's a tough shot.
Ilgauskas with the sweeping hook, but there's Drew Gooden once again. Turnover, Gooden on the floor. Jamison ahead to Arenas. Arenas.
Wow.
And with the bucket, it's a 6-0 run.
He doesn't look powerful, Jeff, but that was a powerful move.
And excellent defense by Larry Hughes. I mean, I thought he did as good a job in transition as you could do, leveling him off, keeping him in front, a better shot.
Again.
Offensive, his fourth. The fourth on LeBron James.
Now, think about before the game. Eddie Jordan said that he was going to force LeBron to go left. He says he can go left, but he goes right back. He also said he's going to force him to take jump shots. Right now, the Wizards are doing both. They're doing an excellent job of guarding LeBron right now.
James picking up his fourth. Washington on a 6-0 run. And as you mentioned, Doc, you want to see him attack, but yet every time that he has here in the court, he's picked up a foul.
Yeah, he really has, because now he is trying to force it, but Jeffries is doing a great job of guarding.
And Arenas with another big three, and Washington up by 2.
Does anyone know how difficult that shot is? Coming to your left, full speed, behind the 3, balance up, nailing a 3.
9-0 run that started with a 4-point play by Antawn Jamison. Gooden. Hook, he's got 20.
Boy, he's been the answer. If the Cavs win this game, it's going to be because LeBron has a big fourth quarter. But the reason they've won it, if they do, it'll be because of Drew Gooden for the first 3.
Cleveland basketball.
And the one thing you cannot do with Gilbert Arenas is go under a screen. That's still, Jeff, you're right. That's a tough shot.
Second in the league and threes made with 199. Drew Gooden has tied his career playoff high. 20 points, he has 13 rebounds. Gooden is 10 of 11. The rest of the Cavs are 14 of 51. Shot clock down to 5. Hughes creating. Foul on the floor.
Boy, tough foul with 2 seconds. And it was a foul. He went right over his back. I tell you, Jeffries right now is not converting on the offensive end. He's missing a ton of layups. But his defense all over the floor has been terrific tonight.
Jeffries offensively just 1 of 9. Hughes at the free throw line. His first trip there tonight. Stay tuned for TNT's second game of the doubleheader. Sacramento taking on the defending NBA champion San Antonio Spurs. Tony Parker dynamic in game number 1. And no Ron Artest tonight. Suspended because of the foul on Manu Ginobili.
Parker in the pick and roll is, I don't know any way you can keep him from getting to the basket. Team sag, playing at 18 feet, he still gets to the basket.
San Antonio shot 57% in the first game. Gooden, his 14th rebound. Looks ahead to Hughes. Hughes in the lane. Drew Gooden doing it once again.
This is a big run for the Cavaliers. You have LeBron James on the bench, and you're actually increasing the lead right now. This is huge.
Turnover and a foul on Jamison.
This is why they brought Larry Hughes in, to give LeBron James a rest, for someone else on the floor to be a creator, and that's what he's doing.
Well, here Gooden does a good job looking up the floor. High advance pass, and then Jeffries tries to get out of the way. And Hughes with a tough finish. And both teams have really struggled with the free throw line so far. And here's Hughes needing to knock these down to give them a little bit of a cushion going into the fourth quarter.
And I think this is really difficult for Larry Hughes. I don't think people understand when you miss 45 games and you come back the last 8, I don't think you can get your rhythm or get back to where you were. I think what he's doing right now is big for them because anything he can give them is good.
And I really like Mike Brown putting him back in the starting lineup. I think that speeds the process along, even though there may be a few bumps in the road.
Played in 8 games after coming back, started 5 of those games. And a foul with 17.2 of a second remaining here in the third quarter.
No, this has been a game of spurts so far, but this to me is the biggest run by either team. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's being done with their best player on the bench. LeBron James is sitting on the bench, and the Cavs are making a run right now. That's big for the Cavaliers.
Billy Thomas heads to the free throw line. Played 8 minutes in game 1. Did not score. 0 of 5 from the field. Log on to TNT Overtime Playoffs 06 on NBA.com. Now for your exclusive player previews and analysis along with the best from Kenny, Charles, and EJ on NBA.com or AOL.com/NBA.
Hey, Jeff, you made a great point earlier, and I agree with you. I think it's really tough for Damon James. He's played all year, and I think Mike Brown's making the right decision by going with Larry Hughes. It's really important that he handles it the right way for his team, and so far it looks like he has.
Jones on the floor. Last season for Miami in the playoffs, averaged better than 12 points. Hughes up high. Here's Murray for 3. Washington ball. Cleveland led by 1 at halftime. And at the end of 3, it's Cleveland by 2. LeBron James had to sit with 4 personal fouls. The Cavaliers on top by 2 here in game 2 at the Q as Washington tries to even the series. Welcome back to Cleveland, Ohio. Before we send you down to the second game of our doubleheader, Sacramento Kings getting set to take on the San Antonio Spurs, who took care of business in game 1. We have the fourth quarter for Cleveland and Washington, and the Cavaliers by 63 to 61. Caron Butler had to sit at the end of the third quarter because of 4 personal fouls. LeBron James had to sit at the end of the third quarter because of 4 personal fouls. Drew Gooden tonight, absolutely sensational. 20 points in 14 rebounds.
Yeah, you know, you think of Larry Hughes and Gooden. Tonight they have 31 points combined. In game 1, it was Snow and Marshall who had 33 points combined. So it's role reversal.
Billy Thomas. Larry Hughes on the drive and Thomas with the foul.
Jeff, this is a small lineup that Washington has on the floor. And you understand they have to go small, but be careful with offensive rebounds.
Let's go down to Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios. Ernie?
Yeah, Matt, Southwest Airlines game break. Just to update you on the Pacers and the Nets. Watch Jason Kidd with the spin. Won't go, but follows. And then moments later, Kidd takes it to the hole again, blocked by Jeff Foster, but Vince Carter, that's not blocked. He's got 16. Nets lead by 10, under a minute to go in the half.
All right, thank you very much. Nets trying to even that series after losing by 2 in game number 1 at home. They dropped 4 consecutive playoff games at home. And the Nets, Billy Thomas for 3. Shot doesn't go in. Gooden with his 15th rebound tonight. Danielle Marshall running right over Arenas. Murray drives baseline. Hughes, James, Murray, Gooden, and Marshall. Shot clock at 5. Murray short. And rough it along with Arenas, Butler, Daniels on the floor, and Thomas.
That was one they should have gone right back to Gooden, who has it going.
Cleveland by 3. Arenas, shot doesn't go. Michael Ruffin with a key rebound.
Hey, Ruffin knows his role, Jeff. You know, a lot of guys would have tried to take that back up. He knows that's not who he is. So instead, he takes it out, gets it, sets it back up, and his team scores.
Right, because he may get fouled, and he's a very poor free throw shooter. So understanding who you are, what you do well, and what you have to stay away from to be effective is the first step to being a good player. And Michael Ruffin's a good player.
Turnover. Here's Butler. And Butler gives the Wizards a 1-point advantage, 65 to 64 on the turnover. The 14th turnover by the Cavaliers. It's led to 21 points.
And every game in the playoffs has a totally different personality. And players have to understand it does not matter what the personality of the game is, how ugly it is, how pretty it is. It's about winning. They both have 10 minutes to win the game, and that's all that matters right now. Forget all the plays that have come before this.
This is your kind of game, though. Two teams shooting under 40% from the field, grinding it out a little bit.
I wish it wasn't our type of game. I wish we could score 48%, 49%.
James.
Tell you, there is nothing easy in this game, and that's good. This is the way the game should be played. Everybody is getting back on defense, and another great shot block by LeBron James. And Jeff, you just pointed who was coming in as Damon Jones. I think Mike Brown saw what you saw, and he knows that he has to get some scoring in this game, and he has to spread the floor to get LeBron James open.
Flip Murray's 1 for 8. Snow's not a range shooter. He's got a good matchup for Damon Jones with Antonio Daniels. It's a good opportunity to get him some minutes.
Damon Jones with the rebound, has yet to attempt a shot, has played in just 2 minutes here in game 2, played just 3 minutes in game 1. Anderson Varejão, out of Brazil, also on the floor for Cleveland. Hughes, and a blocking foul.
Wow, it looked like one official had it one way, but Billy Spooner had the better angle, and he overruled.
Hughes goes back to the free throw line in a major difference. You talked about having a different personality. How about game 1, game 2, Marshall and Snow?
Right, again, every game is different, but I want to go back to what Doc said, that he had a better angle. Says who? Eddie Rush was on the baseline, and he had a charge.
Yeah, but Bill Spooner was in the slot over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The slot.
See, they can run that they can run that con on an announcer, but they can't get that on the coach.
No. It's amazing how calm we are with those calls sitting over here.
Cleveland by 1. Arenas. Last touch by Washington. Cleveland ball with 9:12 to go in game 2.
That was a good defensive adjustment by Varejão in that Arenas had James one-on-one isolation. He's guarding Ruffin. Instead of staying on Ruffin's body, he came all the way across to fill that box so that Arenas had no baseline drive.
Good. Nice. You can see again, Jeffries is daring him to make the shot. LeBron James takes the shot. Next time he gets it, Jeffries has to get a little closer. LeBron James will get to the basket.
3-point advantage for Cleveland, and a timeout taken by Eddie Jordan.
No. You got a charge.
Cleveland 68-65 with 8:47 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Great Cleveland, Ohio band, the Pretenders. Of course, this is the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Isn't that Chrissy Hine?
And the Pretenders.
That's what I thought.
That's impressive, Joe.
That's what I thought. You know, being the music buff that I am.
You're so musically inclined.
I played the flute-a-flone in 3rd grade.
And how'd that go for you?
I threw it under the bus. I was so disgusted with myself.
Arenas cutting. Jamison open for 3. His 2nd 3.
On calls by Gilbert Arenas. I mean, you obviously have to make the shot. But Gilbert Arenas forced the issue, took it to the basket, got the defense to suck in, and found the open shooter.
And this is a hard play to guard. Inverted pick and roll, small setting in for James into the flare.
Shot clock at 7. James for 3.
See, I thought he had him set up for the drive that time because he made the basket the shot before.
Daniels saves it. Jeffries posting up, denied by Verazon. Back down, up fake. Spills out. Jeffries doing an excellent job on James in the post. Turnover.
You can watch that last play. You see Jeffries is not as far back. He's leaning forward. He's ready. I think James could have taken that with his right hand.
But don't you think it's important he doesn't overthink right now? Do what's instinctually
and just
comes to you and let it go.
Butler rims out. Jamison there, cleaning up.
He's an excellent offensive rebounder, and he's got a quick release inside, so when he gets one, he can get it back up before the shot blockers get back into play.
I tell you, the plus-minus again with Drew Gooden on and off the floor. Mike Brown, you can see him about to put Drew Gooden back in. I think this has been a Drew Gooden type of game. They need him on the floor.
Gooden with 20 points and 15 rebounds. Danielle Marshall drills the 3, a big 3. Marshall 3 of 7 in game 1. Knocks it down.
Pretty interesting. Once the 3 went down, Mike Brown told Drew Gooden to sit back down because they know they need the floor spread. I wouldn't be surprised to see him put Gooden in at the 5 spot.
James climbs up. Butler. Numbers for Washington. And Jeffries. Washington back up by 2.
That's how Washington wants to play. Long rebound, they're up and running.
Washington by 1, 72-71. Danielle Marshall spots up. Knocks down the big 3, his first bucket of the game. And then getting out, running. In transition, one of the best in the league at that. And Jeffries with the flush.
The 2006 NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by the 2006 Sonata, a Hyundai like you've never seen before. By the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? And by NikeBasketball.com.
Bullets by 1. 5 seconds left. Snyder will inbound it again to Bingo Smith. Same spot. Running shot. New. Underneath. Clemens got it. It's over. And it's tied at 85. Snyder sideline left. Snyder on the dribble drive to the hoop. Put it up. Goal! Cleveland 87. Bullets 85 with 4 seconds to go. Munsell lobs it underneath. Snyder knocks it free. Ball picked up by Shadir. Shoots up. No good.
The 30th anniversary this week of the miracle in Richfield. Legendary voice of the Cavs, Joe Tate. And we see Phil Chenier in that series with the Washington Bullets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was their first year that the Cavs made the playoffs in their 6th year in existence, and their first series that they had ever won, and they've won only 2 since then. James on the post-up, knocked out of bounds. And Doc Rivers, you were there.
Yeah, my uncle Jim Brewer played in that basketball game. I was in the 8th grade, Jeff. That means you were in the 7th grade.
Struggling. But I like what Cleveland's doing right there. They put James in the post the last 3 or 4 times. He's been point blank. It just hasn't gone in for him.
Yeah, he's getting his shot now, though, and he's being aggressive, so I like that. He has to stay that way.
Jamison on him. And Bill Spooner with the call.
See, that's just a bad foul by Daniels. You know, there's 6 seconds on the shot clock. LeBron James is away from the bucket. You're going to have to make James throw that to Gooden and Gooden score. You can't commit fouls because each foul gets them closer to penalty.
Daniels, his firstborn in Columbus, Ohio. Michael Ruffin checks out. Arenas, along with Haywood, Jamison, Butler, and Daniels. Gooden. And a foul on Jamison. And that is his 4th. Joining Butler, who has 4, with 5:10 to go.
That was a great duck-in by Drew Gooden. It started on the pick and roll. They had to play Ilgauskas, which you talked about earlier, on the roll where he was really popping, and it allowed Gooden to duck in. I like this again, Jeff, you're right.
Posting up James, tough shot doesn't fall. Ahead to Daniels. Arenas hasn't scored in 9 minutes. Butler.
You know, he hasn't scored, but he's creating scores because that, again, was all Gilbert Arenas.
Butler with 21. Washington by 4.
Well, they are really looking on the duck end with Gooden, and I like what they're doing.
And here they have a semi-transition where the ball is moving, and then Arenas is sucking the defense in. And that is what Washington is good at. They're a good three-point shooting team. They've got Butler out there who shoots it well, Jamison, Daniels, and Arenas. They've downsized again. 4 three-point shooters and a 5-man Haywood to control the paint.
Game 1, 3 of 22 from beyond the arc. Tonight's 7 of 16. Shot clock down to 5. Gooden away from the basketball, hands it back to James. Recognizes late. Rebound comes to Arenas.
Well, James came off one dribble and picked it up. He has to pull it and attack.
Deep three, Butler.
That was big.
And a foul's going to be called on Butler. It was big in 2 ways. You had the miss at the 3, and now his 5th foul at the other end.
And it allows LeBron to shoot 2 free throws. And Jeff, you made a great point. LeBron James has figured out one thing. He's going to go to the post, and I like the move.
James 6 of 9 tonight. Coming up, second game of our doubleheader. The Sacramento Kings and the San Antonio Spurs. And Sacramento without Ron Artest. It was tough with them. It's going to be tougher without.
Oh, yeah. Rick Adams.
Oh, yeah. Upward Jeff. I think it's tough. Boy.
I mean, Rick Adams, the guy's done an unbelievable job during his time at Sacramento. And this may be asking a little bit too much. They just don't have the depth of talent that San Antonio does.
Of course, after Ron Artest said that they're going to go all the way. Count it. Plus the foul.
You know, before the game, Eddie Jordan said Daniels goes right 99.9% of the time. You have to play him for his right-hand drives because he's excellent when he gets a chance to go that direction.
James has picked up his 5th.
Now that's big. That's huge.
Daniels, the 3-point play.
And it's interesting how each coach handled it. Eddie Jordan took Caron Butler out with 5. Mike Brown kept LeBron James in the game with 5.
And I don't think Mike Brown can take him out. I think you have to have LeBron on the floor.
Gooden. Wow. On fire tonight. 22 points, 11 of 12 shooting, and 16 rebounds. A new playoff career high with the 22 points. Jamison puts it on the floor, and Gooden commits the foul.
You know, they made those first threes, Jeff. Now they're pump faking and taking it to the basket.
And that's what's so difficult about 4 3-point shooters. So Arenas, Jamison, step up, pick and roll. Gooden has to protect the baseline and then close back to Jamison. And now Jamison's got him at his mercy. Shot fake, as Doc said, drive right, and he knows how to create fouls, but they continue to struggle from the free throw line, 13 for 21.
And in the fourth quarter, they get to the line. They lead the NBA. Part of that is Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas in the fourth quarter in game 1 was 10 of 11 from the free throw line. In the game, 11 of 13. Butler has 5. That's why he's watching. 4-point game. Washington with the lead.
You've got to help off Snow here on any penetration.
James. Good. It's a 2.
Wow. I agree, Jeff. I thought that was the one time they had the clock down to 5 seconds. You can come off Snow and make him make the shot. That's a big shot by LeBron James.
23 points tonight on 7 of 23 shooting. Jamison over Gooden. A big answer by Antawn Jamison. Another 3. Has 9 in the quarter and 19 in the game. Gooden tries to keep it alive and can't.
Right now, again, Washington is doing what they want to do to LeBron. They're making him take jump shots. The last one he got away with, he had to take another one with a contested shot. That's not all bad if you're Washington.
Antawn Jamison stepping up big here in the fourth quarter with 9 of his 19 and another big 3. For tonight's Marines Teamwork Play of the Game, we take a look at Drew Gooden. Doc.
Yeah, Drew Gooden's been more than just teamwork. He's done it all. But just by him running the floor, giving up his body, he allows LeBron James to get free and get that dunk. Drew Gooden's had a sensational game tonight.
Career high in the postseason with 22 points. 1 rebound shy of tying his career best in the playoffs at 16 rebounds. But right now, Washington on top by 5. Under 2 minutes to go. Game 2, fourth quarter at the Q. Arenas. James with the rebound.
Boy, that was good execution. They got exactly what they were looking for.
Turnover. Butler back out on the floor with 5. And Snow, great job defensively, ties up Daniels, a jump ball.
And that's what you love about the competitive nature of Eric Snow. 90% of the NBA players let Daniels go in and finish. He makes a play on the ball, not only doesn't foul, causes a jump ball, and now it's up to him to figure out how he can win it. That game is in peril on that drive.
That is a huge play. If they get the layup or even a foul in the free throw, the game is probably over. He made the play of the game so far for Cleveland.
Snow, Daniels will jump. Eddie F. Rush tosses it up. James saves it, but right to Arenas in the and 1.
Boy, I tell you, Jeff, LeBron James has made 2 plays in a row that he wished he could get back. First, he makes a behind-the-back pass earlier to get the turnover. Then you're taught at an early age, if you're going to save the ball, you throw it down on your end of the floor. You can never throw it in front. And here, the play before that, another behind the back. That really was Caron Butler's reach that caused that turnover. But you can never save the ball in front of your own basket. You gotta, if you can't save it, bring it with you or throw it down to the other end of the floor.
And where were his teammates going? Leaking out on the break. They didn't have possession of the ball. those are the plays that keep you up at night as a coach.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, those really, I mean, it's just hard.
Because LeBron went to the ball, his 4 teammates receded looking for Blake. They never got the ball.
Washington with their largest lead. And Haywood commits the foul with 1:25 to go. James will go to the free throw line. And he is 8 of 11 there tonight.
He's got to keep attacking. There's still lots of time in this game.
Attempted an NBA season high 28 free throws against Miami. He was 24 of 28 from the free throw line back on March 12th against the Heat. And you see his numbers tonight, 9 turnovers. Jeffries has really done a good job disrupting.
I think Butler and Jeffries and the team defense has been good, very good on Washington's part. But I think also we can't discount, this has just not been his best game. Greatness has a way of defeating good defense. And I think in game 3, LeBron James is going to bounce back and play his normally great game. I really do. I just think he's that good.
Yeah, and Jeff, he has 24 points. Again, obviously his field goal percentage is not high. He's had high turnovers in this game. But when he looks at the film, he's going to see that he did get a lot of great looks. And he should look at the film and say, I'll take a lot of those looks again. If they give me those same looks, I'm going to be okay. You think about in the fourth quarter, he had 3 or 4 great post-ups, got all the way to the basket, and it didn't go in. So in his end, I'm not all that upset if I'm LeBron James.
And right here on his
Jeffries.
second miss, you had Gooden get a free throw rebound. So it's going to be, it quite possibly could be an unconventional 3-point play.
Yeah.
3 free throws by 2 different guys, and it brings them back to a 5-point deficit.
Stay tuned, game 2, Kings and Spurs. Second game of our doubleheader coming up next. The foul was on Jeffries. 5-point game on their feet here at the Q in Cleveland. Arenas. Hughes into the front court. Under a minute left. Spin move. Shot doesn't go. Cleveland basketball.
Well, Cleveland has come up with the last 2 big rebounds. They've had to come up with them off the free throw. And then a second shot opportunity. Cleveland will get the ball back. They are still very much in this game.
Southwest Airlines game break, Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. The Sacramento Kings and San Antonio Spurs in game 2 of our doubleheader. And when Robert Horry checks into that game, it'll be the 200th playoff game of his career. Only 2 other guys have been there, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Scottie Pippen. A monumental night for Robert Horry as the Kings take on the San Antonio Spurs. Not over yet, though, with the Q. Back to Matt.
All right, thank you very much, Ernie. 53 seconds left. Washington by 5. What does Cleveland have to do, Doc?
Well, they just need to score here. I mean, they don't need a 3. They just need to get a good inbounds play. They don't need to use up clock. They've got to be pretty aggressive. They need 2 points to stop and then come back and try to score again.
No fouls on LeBron's drive if you're Washington. Make him finish up over the top.
James mishandles. Damon Jones on the floor. Up fake, Hughes, open jumper. Good. 3-point game.
Good patience by the Cavaliers. I love the substitution by Mike Brown. He has all shooters on the floor. That's going to free it up for LeBron.
And I like no timeout by Eddie Jordan to keep the offensive players on the court instead of getting Snow back in the game.
Arenas is fouled by Hughes.
He is so good at drawing fouls, Arenas. When you look at the start of this drive, he uses that left hand. Watch this left hand. He sneaks it out, draws attention, draws contact, and that is what's going to get him on the free throw line. He's the best in the business at the end of games at drawing fouls.
And if you're Daniel Marshall there, you got to put your whole body in front of him. You got to make him kick it on that possession.
6 of 10 tonight from the free throw line.
Good sub here by Mike Brown. What he's doing is he's telling you he's basically going to call a timeout. He's bringing in another rebounder so they can make sure they get the rebound on the glass. He'll call a timeout and advance it to half court so he will not lose any clock. That's a good move.
Mike Brown in his first season as an NBA coach. And Arenas gets it from the line, and it stretches it back out to 5. Won more games in Mike Brown as a first-year head coach of the Cavaliers than any other Cav coach in history. Discussion with regard to the timeouts remaining, and the Wizards with 2 full and 1:20, and the Cavaliers, they do not have a full. They have 1 22nd timeout.
It still means they can advance the ball. Right here, you still don't need a 3. Obviously, if you can get one, you will absolutely take it, because they're going to have to make the shot and foul immediately right after the shot.
Jeff? And here's what's difficult. LeBron James is so strong. Butler's got 5. When he puts it on the ground, they've got all 3-point shooters around him. You cannot give him the conventional 3-point play.
1.5 seconds, differential, game clock, shot clock. James driving, Butler on him, and a foul is going to be charged to Butler, and he just fouled out.
Boy, I tell you, that wasn't a good foul. I mean, to me, he gets to the basket. You got to make LeBron James make the layup. He probably would have, but you only have 20 seconds left, and Caron Butler gets to stay on the floor. And there's no guarantee that he makes the free throws.
Well, what's interesting, we lost the game to Cleveland in March the same way. Up 3 late, he drove it, and he got a 3-point play so strong. Your foul, if you're going to foul him, you have to make it count. You can't let him get the ball up above his waist. That foul has to take place earlier. They were very fortunate that wasn't a 3-point play.
They really were, because he converts those shots.
Caron Butler, 21 points after just 11. And game number 1 also with 9 rebounds.
Now, James has to make both of these, obviously. And right away, Cleveland has to commit a foul. They may go for stealing foul, Jeff.
I think that's a good point. I think teams foul too early without giving themselves the trap. One chance at a trap and then foul, because every player right now thinks they're going to get fouled, and sometimes they get very loose and casual with the ball.
And also 8-second count, which a lot of people forget about.
11 of 15 tonight. LeBron James from the free throw line. 26 points. Second only in this game to Gilbert Arenas, who has 30, and a timeout taken by Washington. Coming out of a timeout, Eddie Jordan calling the timeout. And a 3-point advantage, Jeff.
Well, he wants to advance the ball, get his best inbounder to inbound, his best decision maker, and then also get his best free throw shooter the ball.
And what Cleveland wants to do is commit a foul right away. They should go for steal first. If they can pick who gets the ball, that would be great. If not, foul. I think if all the guys on the floor right now, that's who they probably want taking a free throw. A guy who has not been in the game maybe 3 minutes the entire game. So for right now, for Cleveland, you're happy. He can make free throws, but at least it's not Gilbert Arenas or Jamison or Daniels.
And what I like that Mike Brown did is he double-teamed Arenas to prevent him from being the first pass receiver. Antonio Daniels was spread in the backcourt. He was taken out of the play, and it leaves it in Billy Thomas's hands, which is a very, very difficult spot to be in.
It is. Now, Billy Thomas is a good free throw shooter, but when you haven't been in a game much, nor a playoff game, see, that's where that 6th foul on Butler comes into play.
The 11th best free throw shooter in the league is Caron Butler. Billy Thomas, a career 81% free throw shooter in his second year out of Kansas, misses both. Down by 3, underneath, Farazan stripped of the ball by Arenas. And a foul.
That was a tremendous play by Gilbert Arenas to rotate over, strip on the way up. That's just a tremendous help play. And then to get a pursuit of the loose ball and draw the foul. Now they get a experienced player on the line in Jamison, even though he's only a 73% shooter.
He's been here.
He's been in the spot.
And Jeff, you're taught as a big to never bring the ball down low. That was an excellent pass by LeBron. They're going to go for a quick 2 and foul again. And Varejao brings the ball all the way down below his waist, and that allowed Gilbert Arenas to get his hands on the ball.
2-possession game. Jamison has 20. Gets both. Jamison with 11 of his 21 here in the fourth quarter. And let's send it down to Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. EJ?
Yeah, thank you very much, Matt. Southwest game break. Just to let you know that at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, they are just underway in Game 2 between the Spurs and the Kings. And as you can see down there in the corner of your screen, the game is scoreless. Of course, the Kings playing without Ron Artest. Let's see if Manu Ginobili can get on the board. San Antonio and then the Sacramento Kings scoreless. And we'll take you there as soon as y'all are done. Back to you, Matt.
All right, thank you very much. All right, if you're Cleveland.
Quick shot. You got to get a quick shot, and now you have to get a 3. You know, the 2, I don't think does a lot for you, but you got to get a quick shot, 2 or 3, and then commit a quick foul. You know, Mike Brown, Jeff, made a decision not to call a timeout back then because he knew he needed one. The problem with that, obviously, it left Marshall off the floor. I still think it was the right decision.
Right, and now they have to be able to get a quick one, as you said. I think 2, a 3, no timeouts left, so you're going to have to score the 3, foul, get a break, miss one of the 2 free throws, and then hit another 3 in transition. And they love to go into the post to LeBron James here. Watch him setting a baseline screen, ducking back in for a quick catch and score.
James for 3. Doesn't go. Jamison with the rebound.
This is a big win for Washington, Jeff.
They even the series at 1. 89-84, Washington with the win as Gilbert Arenas comes up huge with 30. Butler 21, Jamison 21. Let's go down to San Antonio and Dick Stockton.